Well, welcome back to This Week in Video Games, and we got the final This Week at Bungie, and that is available today on the 23rd of February 2023, and we are only a few days away now from Lightfall, so really exciting stuff. Well, let's dive right into This Week at Bungie, and first of all, we've got that new trailer that was just dropped in the Sony State of Play, so let's check out that new trailer together right now.
What is that? The Witness.
The malefactor of our first collapse is at our doorstep.
You have no purpose, because you fear to seek one. That fear is your failure.
Vanguard to all units. Keep the enemy away from the Traveler at all costs.
This is what you get when you mess with us.
I understand what's at stake, Lightfall. Not all of us have lives to spare.
Your fear brings you pain. We know pain. Our purpose is its end.
The battle begins here and now.
Well, really exciting stuff from that trailer, and let me know down in the comments what you think. And really looking forward to Lightfall dropping on the 28th of February. Okay, let's dive right over to This Week at Bungie, and Bungie say rank up Guardian, so making your in-game merits more obvious and giving others the opportunity to say nice things about how you played. Surely, well, that must feel nice, and that is why Guardian ranks and commendations, they are crucial additions to Destiny 2, so Bungie say we're also revamping the build crafting experience for all players with our new mod customization. We've heard about that in the last few weeks, and giving everybody the ability to create and switch builds on the fly with the addition of in-game loadouts. So we know you might have some questions around how these new quality of life systems work, so we've got more details from the team over on the PlayStation blog today. Well, that is a really good detailed blog post over there on Sony's blog, so I definitely recommend checking it out, and you can find a link to that blog post down in the description. Well, next up we got the Crucible beckons, so we know you're waiting for more news regarding the Crucible. We've got a few quick bits to share before launch, and then later in the season, we have a bigger article with more details on playlist changes coming with Lightfall, and later adjustments to competitive progression and rewards and changes to how matchmaking will work in the near future. Next week, the competitive division freelance node is going away, as we believe Fireteam matchmaking is solving the problem it was originally intended to solve in a much healthier way. This will merge the player populations into one larger, healthier pool, while still protecting smaller fire teams from getting stomped by larger and more coordinated groups. Okay, so we've got competitive quality of life changes coming in Season 20. First of all, placement changes, so you can now place in Platinum Division after your initial Placement Series matches, if you were Adept or Ascendant in the previous season. Mode and map weighting, so while we understand not everyone loves Rift and Showdown, we believe that those two modes stress Crucible players in different and important ways, and that variety of kill and objective modes makes for a healthier ladder. However, we are lowering how common Rift and Showdown come up in play, and while RNG can give a sequence of maps and modes, we expect Survival to show up roughly 2/3 of the time, and Rift and Showdown to split the other third. We've also adjusted the individual map weightings for Showdown to eliminate maps the mode does not play well on. And overall, we've increased the weight of Javelin 4, Endless Veil and Ultra of Flame in the competitive division, and removed Disjunction and Cathedral of Dust from the rotation entirely. So that is really good news. And as of the start of Season 20, you can gild the glorious title by reaching the Adept Division, as well as a number of other Crucible triumphs. Exotic armor pieces can be just as critical to your PvP build as your weapons or subclass aspects or fragments. A popular move has always been to have a powerful neutral game exotic on during PvP while your super is building, then swap to a super enhancing exotic once your super is full, then swapping back to a neutral game exotic. This tends to favour players who have higher end PCs and get in and out of menus faster, and we generally don't want to encourage a bunch of menu gameplay during the action. We also find it an uninteresting way to gain an advantage in PvP, and with the prevalence of build swapping that can happen with loadouts, we thought we would squash this issue in high-end PvP. So in Season 20, we are introducing the Not Swap modifier to Trials of Osiris and the competitive division. In activities with Not Swap, if you change your exotic armor during the match, all of your ability energy is removed, just like if you swapped your subclass. We're also going to be monitoring gameplay and community discussion around this issue, but we are not currently planning on adding it to Gambit or other Crucible playlists. We're also not planning on adding it to PvE modes and anywhere it might provide a meaningful advantage, that already has equipment locked. Now, more details are going to come in a Crucible blog post this season. Until then, go and make Shax proud and get ready to build and save the perfect PvE loadout for next week. Well, next up, we've got Embrace the Passive Artifact. So the Seasonal Artifact has been with us for a little while now, and we've adjusted its functionalities to better suit how you face some of your most challenging activities in Destiny 2, and to spice up the meta a bit each season. We're making several improvements to it in Lightfall, starting with the following. So Artifact mods are now Artifact perks, and these are passive, and you don't have to slot them into armor pieces. And once you unlock an Artifact perk, it automatically applies to your Guardian. 12 perks are unlockable per character. You can reset the artifact at no cost at any number of times. The anti-champion weapons featured on the artifact can also be overcharged in higher difficulty activities. And to accommodate these changes, Artifice Armor has now a unique mod slot that grants 3 additional points to a character stat of your choice. And this change is, in bold, retroactive to all Artifice Armor. But why tell you when we can show you? So here's what the Ascendant Scepter brings to the table for Season 20. First of all, in Column 1 we've got anti-barrier sidearms, so your equipped sidearms fire shield-piercing rounds and stun barrier champions. That's really, really good. We've got anti-barrier pulse rifles. That's excellent. We've got overload bows, unstoppable scout rifles, and automatics overload. So the automatics overload, that one is quite interesting. So sustained fire from auto rifles and submachine guns disrupts combatants, stunning them and delaying their ability regeneration and lowering combatant damage output. Strong against overload champions. Additionally, auto rifles and submachine guns are always overcharged when that modifier is active. So that is really good news, and that sets up the weapons nicely for next season. So we've got sidearms, pulse rifles, bows, scout rifles, and automatic weapons like auto rifles and submachine guns. Okay, in Column 2, we've got authorized mods Solar, so the armor energy cost of all armor mods affecting your solar weapons is significantly discounted. Authorized mods Strand, same for Strand. And then we've got authorized mods Void, authorized mods Grenade, so that is slightly different. So the armor energy cost of all the armor mods affecting your grenades are significantly discounted. Then you've got a multi-siphon mod that grants access to your armor mods in your helmet that combine the effects of Strand Siphon mod with the Solar Siphon mod and the Void Siphon mods. Well, Column 2 definitely sounds interesting, but I think we're going to have to get our hands on that one to see what it's like. Next up, we have Column 3, so we've got Shatter Orbs. First time you break a combatant's shield, you create an orb of power if you break the shield with the matching damage type. We've got Defiant Armory, so greatly improves the benefits provided by Noble Deeds, Nanotech Tracer Rockets, Tech Balance Stock, and Ambush Origin trait. We've got Untangler, so destroying a tangle with a strand weapon suspends targets damaged by the explosion. And we've got Solar Surge, so collecting a fire sprite gives you an armor charge. The Volatile Flow, then picking up an orb of power, grants your Void weapons volatile rounds. So that one is very familiar and very, very effective. In the fourth column then, we've got Bricks from Beyond, so defeating a powerful combatant with a Void weapon has a chance to generate heavy ammo for you and your teammates. That's going to be really useful. We've got Flare Up, Firebolt grenades apply more scorched stacks. Damaging a combatant with Firebolt grenades spawns a fire sprite near them. Then we've got Origin Hones, so weapons with Noble Deeds, Nano Tracing Rockets, Hex Balance Stock, and Ambush Origin traits are always overcharged when that modifier is active. So rapid final blows with a strand weapon grant your weapon unravelling rounds with a longer duration near allies. Then we've got counter weave, so when you or a member of your fire team stuns or defeats a champion, you gain energy for your least charged strand ability. That all sounds really good in column 4. Then finally in column 5, and historically this has been the best column, so we've got stranded reach. Destroying a tangle with a strand weapon creates a larger and more damaging explosion. We've got rain of firebolts, so when you have a firebolt grenade equipped, gain a second grenade charge. That's looked really, really useful. We've got void weapons channeling. You gain a temporary bonus to void weapon damage after you defeat a target with a void weapon, while at least one of your void abilities is fully charged. And this damage bonus increases based on the number of fully charged void abilities that you have. Then we got medieval champion, so glaives you wield fire a powerful explosive payload that stuns unshielded combatants. That is strong against unstoppable champions. Additionally, glaives are always overcharged when that modifier is active, and landing consecutive hits with the sword disrupts combatants, stunning them, delaying ability energy regeneration and lowering combatant damage output. That is strong against overload champions, and additionally, swords are always overcharged when that modifier is active. And finally, we've got prismatic transfer, so when you cast your super, each member of your fire team with a subclass damage type different than yours gains a bonus to weapon damage. Well, those artifact mods sound really, really good, and let me know down in the comments what you think. But next up, we've got new ways to defeat champions. So in our Build Crafting Evolved article, we stated there would be new ways to counter champions in Lightfall, and after showcasing the seasonal weapons you'll use to do so, maybe we should also refresh that information and throw in 1 or 2 more details. So you can use an exotic with anti-champion intrinsic perks, so Eriana's Vow, Divinity, or Leviathan's Breath are 3 examples. You can use weapons that have anti-champion artifact perks, and you can use the following subclass verb and status effects. So barrier champions, that's radiant, volatile rounds and unravelling rounds. Overload champions, that's jolt, suppression and slow. We've got unstoppable champions with ignite, blind, shatter and suspend. And the verbs work no matter how they are triggered. So 2 examples, if you are radiant because a solar hunter use an acrobatic dodge near you, you will shoot anti-barrier rounds until the radiant wears off. If you use a weapon with the chill clip perk and the slow effect upon direct hits will stun overload champions, and the shatter upon the second hit will stun unstoppables, and while radiant though, the same weapon will pierce a barrier champion and not stun the overloads. And then exotics with an anti-champion status effect won't get the pierce effect when applying radiant. One example there is Aga's Scepter will slow and stun an overload champion, but not pierce a barrier one even if that player is radiant. And there's an exception for weapons able to scorch since ignitions require build-up in order to stun. So really, really exciting combinations, and let me know down in the comments if you've got any good ideas for upcoming builds. Well, next up we've got Become Legend, so whether you are a solo player or in a full fire team, there's no wrong way to play the Lightfall campaign. We know you all love the legendary difficulty that debuted with the Witch Queen, so we wanted to talk about it and how it's going to work in Lightfall. So with the goal of balancing challenging and survivability across all fire team sizes, that's 1, 2 and 3, legendary difficulty scales based on the size of your fire team, so incoming damage, damage required to stagger an enemy, enemy health, and the amount of revives are all a few things that scale on the legendary difficulty for each additional member of your fire team. So in the Lightfall campaign, we reduced the health scaler on combatants to better balance solo and fire team play when compared to last year's legendary campaign. Enemies will still have more overall health in larger fire teams, and the Cabal in general have a higher base health than other combatant factions. This will help bring solo and fire team difficulty close together. Additionally, the damage required to stagger combatants is reduced during the Lightfall campaign. Well, make no mistake, the Shadow Legion and their new technology are extremely formidable foes, and we're not even going to talk about Tormentors, so eyes up Guardian, because it won't be easy. Well, finally today, I want to go through the free Throne World Tour. So this weekend, Bungie say they're making all the content included with the Witch Queen Standard Edition available for free. Here's the exact timing, starting February the 23rd at 9 AM PST. I do believe that is now. That is going to end on the Xbox on February 26th at 11:59 PM. Then on the PlayStation, Steam, Microsoft Store and Epic Games Store on February the 27th at 9 AM. So for Xbox, players with Xbox Live Gold or Game Pass subscriptions can visit the Witch Queen page on their platform store to claim access. For PlayStation, Steam, Epic Games and Microsoft Store players, all you have to do is log into the game and the Witch Queen will be available. If you want to check out its amazing legendary campaign, the Vox Obscura exotic mission, and a few Wellspring runs, or try the Vow the Disciple raid, you totally can. All the loot you earn will be yours to keep, by the way. You don't have to download any additional content. The Witch Queen Standard Edition will just unlock on your installed game. A similar situation with Beyond Light, since this expansion is still available for free for PlayStation Plus subscribers. Go fight House Salvation, their leader Eramis, while travelling across Europa's frozen landscapes and get a hold of Stasis, the first Darkness-based subclass, just in time before Strand, the second one. Well, that launches with Lightfall. Just remember to redeem Beyond Light before March the 6th. Well, loads of really good information there, and let me know down in the comments what you think about the latest news from Destiny 2. We're only a few days away now from Lightfall, so really exciting stuff, and I can't wait to see you in the neon city of Neomuna. Well, as always, thank you so much for watching or listening, and for more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. Or you can check me out on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.